Welcome to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez, joined by my co-host, Mr. Javier Perez. Today, we're going to interview Sambo. He needs no introduction, actually, but Sambo is someone that has been very much involved in the community, especially the Tejano and the barbecue community. They all know Sambo. So,
well, let's give him his given names, Ben. I mean, you know.
Big Tex.
Big Tex,
Big Tex Sam.
whatever you want to call him. Thank you for joining us, Sambo.
Oh, it's a pleasure, always.
But before we interview Sambo, we want to talk politics. As you know, we have a mayor's race coming up, and it's getting heated. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the mayor's race, but there's going to be pretty soon the commercials are coming up.
Yeah.
And we're going to be seeing some rockets propelled.
Oh man, it's gonna get dirty. You know, you just can see it coming.
So the so-called front runners, if you want to call them that, because it's so early on, it's hard to tell who's really in front. But just based on money raised by the candidates, we had the councilman Costello raised about 1.8 million. Actually, it was 1.3 million. He had $500,000. So total 1.8 million. Sylvester raised 1.7. That included 1.7 million, by the way. That's included his $900,000 that he had in the bank already.
Okay.
And then we had former sheriff Adrian Garcia. He raised $1.5 million, and he had zero in the bank. So
I think Adrian might have won that little trifecta there.
well, as far as raising money for,
but that's good for him because he was the last one to get in the race.
Right.
And he had a lot less time than the other candidates to raise that money.
Right.
So so I think that's hats off to Adrian. He did a hell of a job raising that money. I think he surprised a lot of people.
And I would say so. And Bill King, of course, has his own money. Ben Hall has his own money. So you're going to have a lot of folks that have some serious money for this race.
Jeez, this is almost like a presidential election here in Houston, man.
Yeah,
They're spending millions and millions and millions on this.
And back in the day, they used to say, well, if you raise $2 million, you got it. It's yours. Well, I can tell you there's going to be some folks raising $2 million in this race.
Easy.
Multiple folks.
Easy. I think it might hit more like $4 million before it's all said and done.
Yeah. So it's going to be right down to the wire. I mean, we're going to see a lot of folks out there trying to figure out who to give money to, because there's some folks that are on the fence, okay? And they're basing it on the reports, the financial reports, as to who they're going to support. But since you have many folks that are kind of like at the same level, it's going to be difficult for some of them to make a decision.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the Republican versus the Democratic candidates, well, obviously Costello is the front runner. On the Democratic side, you have Sylvester Turner and Adrian Garcia. I mean, they're pretty much neck and neck when you look at the monies. Okay, so it'd be very interesting. So you have obviously an Anglo candidate that's Republican, and then you have an African American and a Hispanic that are Democrats. So race is always a big factor. I don't care what people say, race is always a factor. Okay, you can tell me all day long the African American community is going to support an Anglo, and I can tell you differently.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you differently.
Yeah, that's not a stretch by no means.
95, if not more, % of the African Americans are going to support an African American. That's the way it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Who makes it to the runoff? It's going to be, obviously Adrian is expected to be in the runoff, but either Costello or Sylvester against Adrian. So either way it turns, it's going to be very interesting.
I tell you, but I don't think any of the candidates themselves are taking anything for granted right now.
Absolutely,
it's a shootout out there, man. It's going to see who's left standing at the end of it. You know, it's going to be a tight race.
And it seems like
it's going to be just getting into the runoff is going to be a major accomplishment.
It seems like the signs and everything has started a little bit early on this campaign. You know, we start to see that like at least a month ago. You know.
Yeah.
Month and a half ago, you start seeing signs pop up here and there.
Well, you know who got to thank for that? You know, Ben started campaigning around Valentine's Day when he ran.
Yeah.
You know, my gosh, man.
Well, he brings up a good point. Adrian doesn't need name ID. He has the name ID, so he doesn't have to spend all the money on signs like the other candidates do. You know, Costello, hardly anybody knows who he is. he's going to have to spend a lot of money on name ID. So that's where Adrian has the advantage. Sylvester has name ID as well, but not as much as Adrian Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Well,
I'm looking forward.
it was many. How many times was Adrian a top vote getter?
Adrian was a top vote getter every time he ran countywide.
Yeah.
That should tell you something. So he had a lot of crossover votes. A lot of Republicans voted for the Democrat, Adrian Garcia. Yeah.
Now, what does that say for Sylvester Turner? Because you got Hall in there also, and is it possible they might split the vote up?
Well, Ben Hall's going to pull some of those votes from Sylvester Turner, but Sylvester's going to win the majority of the African-American vote. I can tell you that right now. And it's kind of interesting how all the dynamics are playing out. But November, first Tuesday of November, we're going to find out who's in the runoff. I'm excited, actually, about seeing those results.
It's gonna be a hot time in the old Houston town. That's for sure for the next few months.
Yeah, and then of course we had the HERO ordinance that was shot down by the courts.
Yeah.
Now what's going to happen basically is you're going to have, if they choose to do this on council, you're going to have the HERO ballot, HERO on the ballot.
And I think that's what the mayor didn't want.
Yeah.
She didn't want that on the ballot.
Yeah. So the HERO ordinance will be on the ballot. The voters will get to decide what they want to do.
You know, it's oh man, that's one of those issues that grows hair. You know, you just don't want it, or you know, it's not going to be. There's going to be so much opposition on both sides. Oh, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and so Sylvester has come out real strong on he's favoring the HERO ordinance, and Ben Hall has been against it. Mm-hmm. Don't know exactly what the other candidates are doing on the HERO ordinance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, being a Republican, you know, Costello probably is against it.
Most likely.
More than likely, and it's going to be interesting to see where Adrian falls on that.
Right.
Issue. I'm unfamiliar with that ordinance. What is that, the HERO ordinance?
Well, the equal rights ordinance so if you're a male and you have a male partner, mm-hmm. you're able to have equal rights, even basically
like a married couple.
Okay, I got you now.
Yeah.
And it's labeled a HERO.
That's correct.
Houston Equal Rights
Ordinance,
Equal Rights Ordinance. Yeah.
And so there's been a lot of talk as to, for one, shall we put it on the ballot? Mm-hmm. Will it hurt? Who will it hurt? Will it hurt the Democrats? Will it hurt the Republicans? Will it bring out more people to vote in the gay community? Will it do this? Will it do that? So there's a lot of discussion going on as to who it would benefit or who it would hurt.
Sounds like a hot topic.
It is. It is. Yeah. And, you know, will it galvanize the gay community to come out very strong? Most likely it will. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I think absolutely will.
Will it galvanize the Republicans? I would think so. So just overall, looking at this ordinance, you're going to have a record high turnout in this race with all the dynamics that are going on. Yeah. And so that doesn't even include the other races that are going on. We have city controller's race that's going to be highly contested, you know, and of course the other council districts. In the Hispanic community is District H, which is North Side. They call it the North Side, but it also includes part of Second Ward. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's mostly North Side Heights area. So that is going to have a good turnout because there's a high number of good candidates running in that seat. And District I haven't heard anybody run against Robert Gallegos. So I'm not sure.
I think there is anyone.
I have no idea. I have no idea if he has a candidate against him or not.
Yeah. Now, when is the filing deadline? Has that already passed?
It'll probably be at the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have some time.
Someone still could kind of sneak in there.
Absolutely. Somebody could file and run for city council. Mm-hmm. Who knows? You might be running for city council.
Please, I like Robert. I ain't going to run
Javier Perez for mayor.
Yeah, right.
It has a ring to it, doesn't it? Javier Perez for mayor. No.
That one hell of a party.
We'll supply the barbecue for the campaign.
Well, the other race that is going to be very interesting is Constable Victor Trevino's old seat. I know there's going to be a few candidates running. Actually, a few candidates are already running. They haven't even filed yet. They're already starting to get their folks in line and get their supporters and their monies ready to go.
So Constable Martinez will no longer be in that position?
It's my understanding that Constable Martinez will run for that seat.
Okay.
Yeah, in addition to other candidates that are going to file.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's going to be a multiple person running in that race.
That was a tough position he was handed. Also, with Victor Trevino being there so many years and having that connection with the community.
Well, Victor was very well liked.
Yeah.
Constable Victor Trevino has been there for, 20 plus years. Everybody knew who he was. So it was a tough blow for him to give up that seat.
Yeah.
And for someone to take over that constable seat for X number of months, it was a tough job for Mr. Martinez.
Yeah.
So Constable Martinez is running for that seat as well as other candidates. So that's not till March, though, but I can tell you right now, they're already lining up their votes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, they have to. Because you got to remember, December, you pretty much can throw that month away as far as campaigning because everybody's doing their own thing. They're not worried about politics. January, they're just getting the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And then February and March. First Tuesday of March is election day.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a lot of time
No.
for campaigning if you're trying to run for office.
Yeah.
So right now is the crunch time.
Time
Even
to
though you
get it.
don't see any signs for a constable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think so far they have, about 6 declared candidates, something like that?
I don't know how many candidates for constable's race, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's 10, 12 candidates by the time it's all said and done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a hotly contested area. Precinct 6 is, by the way, that's the constable's seat. Precinct 6 is very well known for getting the vote out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to have a lot of seniors. And by the way, in the mayor's race, the average voter is over 65 years of age.
Wow.
So you can imagine the elected officials have to target the senior citizens. Yeah. And who do the seniors favor? Your guess is as good as mine. So that's where all your money is going to go. Mail ballot program is
The Wild Wild West.
That's it.
Wild Wild West.
Mail ballot program is essential in any race that you have here in the city of Houston.
I think we need to implement some kind of program in Houston where we start getting the younger guys out there voting.
You know, everybody has been talking about trying to get the young more engaged. We haven't seen the young voters come out except for when President Obama ran, and he really engaged the youth.
With social media.
Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. We haven't seen it since then.
Yeah.
So do they have a reason to come out? I don't know. You tell me. Do the youth have a reason to come out and vote in this mayor's race?
I think they do. I think they do because this is such a important race for the city of Houston. You know, this is really going to put us on the track to where we're going in the future.
Yeah, but
it really is.
But is that a good enough reason for them to come out and vote?
You have to. You have to come out and vote. I mean, if you're not concerned what your future holds for you, you know, you have to be concerned. I mean, Houston is changing. Demographics are changing. Neighborhoods are changing. There's so much going on here. If you're not part of your community and part of the change, you're just going to get lost in the shuffle.
I am not disagreeing with you, but if I am a 19-year-old student at, let's say, U of H or HCC, why should I vote, Javier?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They you know, at U of H or UHD, they really have a push to get their students registered to vote and get them out there at the polls, man. I think that groundswell is really starting. I mean, I think they realize what as a young person in this country, what their civil duty is, man, and what it holds for their future. I think the word's getting out there, man. I think it's only going to get better.
Well, I hope so, because I would like to see those numbers go up, especially in the Hispanic community.
I think it has to. I think it only has but up to go.
And I tell you what, with our events that we're doing, the Big Tex events, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have stations set up for people to register to vote, and we pull a lot of young people, you know, with the bands we bring and, you know, the cook-offs and everything. So we're gonna have stations there where people can sign up, because that's one of the things that we really want to do. We want to get people signed up to vote, so your voice can be heard. You know, people around the world, they die to vote. You know, they die to vote. It's a privilege we got here. And to not express your voice here is just like, it's wasted. It's like their death is in vain, you know?
This is a perfect segue to our discussion right here with Sambo. Sambo is a promoter and been involved in the community for many, many years. And you're doing some concerts coming up. I know one of them is a big barbecue fest.
Yes.
Why don't we talk a little bit about that?
All right. Yeah. August 29th, we're going to be at barbecue at the ballpark at Minute Maid Park, at the home of the almost #1. I think we're fighting for #1 Houston Astros right now.
Yeah.
Well, they're #1 in my heart. I'll tell you that much. In the city.
So does that fall on a Saturday?
That falls on a Saturday.
Okay.
We're going to be in the diamond lot right next to the stadium there, and we got about 30 to 40 cookers that are going to be out there. Arts and craft vendors, people selling all kind of barbecue pits, barbecue rubs, you name it, barbecue. Live entertainment on a Bud Light stage out there. You know,
So who's going to perform?
Right now, I got a special guest coming out. Johnny Canales is going to be out there. He's doing his show now. He's coming back. Take it away. He's back.
Take it away, Johnny Canales. There you go.
He's a legend.
You said that I could sing.
Oh, please, man.
Oh, well,
What?
I'll talk
He
to
said
him.
I
We
was
said in
gonna
the
be
shower.
He said I was
We
going to be a
said in the
headliner.
shower.
I'm still a headliner?
Well, we'll see. Maybe you know how to lip sync. We'll put some Milli Vanilli on.
Yeah, lip sync battle.
I'm tired of being second. I want to be the headliner first.
It's going to be a great day, you know. And I tell you, I'm really honored to be the first Latino to do a cook-off at a
At
stadium
Minute Maid.
at Minute Maid. Yes,
Samuel, and where's the diamond lot? Is that the one right next to
that's the VIP lot.
That's that VIP lot.
Yeah.
That little. Well, it's not a real little space, but it's about a block long there, right
Yeah.
next to the ballpark.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's the
You're
length of the
walking
ballpark. Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the first base side of the stadium there. Would
yeah.
be the first base
Yeah, it
side.
sure
Oh,
is.
that's going to be a great place.
People can just see us.
Oh,
I
my
tell you what, if you're not at the festival and you're driving down 59, you're gonna see the smoke because the smoke will be in the air.
Now,
bet.
Sambo, if me and Ben go out there, you know, we're celebrities. We need to have like
Well,
VIP access.
I
right?
think
I
y'all
already told
hooked
you
up
I'm
on
the
the judges.
headliner.
I think y'all judges or something like that. Y'all don't
Hey,
even know.
I can judge barbecue. I can judge barbecue.
Hey, we're gonna have some of the best barbecue cooking teams out there in Texas. I'm telling you. And then we also got a lot of teams that haven't had the opportunity to cook at a major stadium like this come out. Also, the winner of our barbecue out there, our barbecue part of it, is going to get a chance to represent Houston barbecue at the World Food Championships in Las Vegas.
Wow.
So that's something we just got connected with this week, and that's a big thing to go represent Houston, Texas. I mean, Texas is known for barbecue, you know.
So tell me this, because I'm not familiar with the competition itself.
Yes.
So I know there's different categories, right? So
Yes.
tell me the categories.
Well, the categories here, usually they're brisket, chicken, and ribs. But what we've done since the one-day event is we got the chicken and we got ribs. So we're doing Houston's best chicken, Houston's best ribs. And then I said, hey, we're at the ballpark. Okay, burgers and hot dogs. So we're doing the best ballpark burger, best ballpark hot dog. Now, people say, you know, hot dogs and burgers, that don't sound too, you know. But when you start looking at it from a culinary standpoint, or the backyard chef,
Yeah.
or Uncle Juan's burger, you know, I mean, hey, man, you could have donut burgers, bagel burgers, stuffed burgers. I mean, you name it. Same thing with hot dogs. You know, hot dogs, I think around the border of Arizona or something like that, they make a hot dog out of a torta bun with beans and avocado, and so there's different variations. You know, you can go to the Chicago hot dog, Mexican with bacon wrapped around it. You got people slicing the hot dog and stuffing the weenie with stuff in it now. I mean, there's so much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm getting hungry just talking about it.
Man, we need to take a break. Like, we can go,
I-
I'm starting
Where's
to feel
my hot dog?
a little weak in the knees here. I'm getting hungry. Well, Sample, so is that on a game day or
This is on a no. There's no game that
There's no
day.
game that
That's
day,
why I
okay.
was able to do it there.
Okay.
Now, what we're already talking about is after this year doing it in front of the stadium and closing off Crawford Street and just making it a
Oh,
huge street
absolutely,
festival.
yeah.
So, you know, of course, they want to give me the opportunity because they didn't know how I was going to act. I might show up with piñatas and my Uncle Juan tequila, you know, and just act a fool. So
You're making them nervous.
We can't
Sample.
let
You're
this
making
guy
them
come
nervous.
back.
Whatever you do, don't invite Javi. He'll destroy your credibility with the Houston Astros.
Yeah. I was going to call my primos from the other side of town. You know, they come like the Beverly Hillbillies, but the
Yeah,
Mexican
yeah.
version.
All right, so let's get back to this competition. So is there beans, chili beans, or anything like that?
On this one, though, we're just
No?
doing the 4 categories. Now,
Okay.
to another event in October. This is going to be at Alameda Mall. So I'm going back to where it all started,
Okay.
you know. So we'll be at Alameda Mall, and Alameda Mall will have we're doing a huge celebration there. So we're going to have the Dia de los Muertos celebration. Johnny Canales is going to be out there again with some live Tejano bands.
And the headliner, Ben Mendez, will be performing. Right?
You already know. You got a pretty good standing ovation last time you were there.
Yeah, but that was to get him off the stage.
You thought they were doing the wave.
Do you have the lineup for October?
Not yet. We're still working on that. Okay. But at that one, I'm trying to transition it to where before we had late night concerts, I'm trying to do kind of a daytime thing to where my stage kind of ends like at 8 o'clock, because I want my cooking teams to be able to have people go in their tents. And if I'm having a large attraction on one side, you know, everybody's pretty much over there. So
sure.
I'm trying to end the stage at 8 o'clock, but I'll have some nice bands out there. Have a great time. Another thing that I did was I implemented some more Latino dishes into the categories. So not only do we have brisket, ribs, and chicken, but we're also going to have best fajitas and then carne usada.
Isada.
There you go.
Isada,
There you go.
Okay, that's cool.
Carne isada. So.
And rice and beans to go with it.
And we're gonna do the beans definitely. You know, so.
Man, I'm getting hungry.
A Mexican gotta have his beans, man.
That's good, man. You've come a long way. So how many people are you expecting?
Out there, well, last time we had about 18,000 people out there when I was at Alameda, you know, and.
Okay. So for Minute Maid, how many people are you expecting?
Minute Maid, we're probably expecting anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 people out there at Minute Maid, you know.
Okay.
Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be hitting up the games, all the people coming out of the stadium with flyers, you know, and then I got Houston Press, 93Q. There's so many people picking it up just because of the venue now, you know.
Sure.
Last year I had people telling me, hey, man, you don't pay, we're not going to play, you know. Yeah. This year it's because of the venue. I've had several different organizations just come and start promoting it on their own, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. You know, I Google it every day to see what's going on. And social media I got people selling parking all around it, you know. And they got the logo and everything and the date and time and what it's all about. So there's a lot of cross-promotion going on just because of the venue, you know, just because it's at Minute Maid, you know. So we're looking at a great response, you know. Ticketmaster's handling everything.
I'm bring my bike, so charge $20 for a ride to the parking lot.
I'm going to have the pedicabs out there. So, you know, the pedicabs, you know, they go on the bicycles.
So they'll be able to access the parking lot there at just cross street then, right?
Yeah, there's parking all around there,
that's
you know.
Great.
And they got various prices, you know, for different parking everywhere. It just depends, you know. So, you know, hook up with the paleta, man.
You can sell your elotes.
I'll sell anything they'll sell, believe me.
That's good.
Hey, I'm trying to get it to where we can do the corn in the cup and stuff, you know, but they got their own I got some concession people coming in, you know, but the people that actually run the ballpark, you know, they handle a lot of that stuff, you know, but you know, I'm all about, man, bring out the cabrito, bring out the elotes, you know, I mean, I'm about our culture, you know, and to be at Minute Maid, it's something, man, I want to really push our culture there. I want people to see how we barbecue, you know, what we make, our certain dishes, because that's what it's about, man. People learning about each other's culture and having a good time. So I just want some good music out there, some good food. And let me tell you, good music and good food, it attracts everybody, you know. We'll have the Asians out there, the blacks out there, the Mexicans out there, the whites out there, everybody having a great time, you know, and that's what it's all about, man. And I love showing people the Mexican culture, the Latino culture.
So getting back to the bands, are they going to be Tejano bands or is it going to be mixed?
I'm having a mixed. So right now I got a Kiss band. I liked them last time they were out here, so, you know, they're going to rock out.
You mentioned that last
time. A Kiss cover
I missed
band?
It.
Yeah.
I missed it last time. So they were
Which one is it?
They're Rock and Roll Over. They're out of Dallas, Texas. They're probably the best Kiss cover band out there. The guy shoots fire and everything.
Really?
They look exactly to the T. I'm talking about exactly.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun.
These guys, these are real nice. If you want to check them out, go to YouTube, check them out, Rock and Roll Over, and you'll see. They're.
So everybody's going to bring their bongs?
I don't know about the bongs.
Leave it a bit.
It's gonna be barbecue smoke. It ain't the hippie fest.
Well, that's great. You know, I haven't heard Kiss in a long time.
No,
I've seen a few of those Kiss cover bands. There are a lot of a lot of good music.
They're pretty good, and ain't no telling who Johnny Canales is gonna bring.
That's true. If you got Johnny, I mean, he can pretty much bring whoever he wants.
No, if you don't know who Johnny Canales is, I mean, this is Latino Talk Television, so you should. But if you don't know who Johnny Canales is, this guy is like the Casey Kasem, and he's also like the Don Cornelius of Soul Train. Well, that's our Latino Don Cornelius right there. Yeah. You know, Johnny Canales has been saying "take it away" for the last 40 years, maybe. You know. So, I mean, this guy here is, you know, He's a Latin legend, and to be able to work with somebody like that is an honor in itself.
Where does he live anyway?
I think he's still in Corpus. He's still in Corpus. His show is simulcasted in Chicago, California, New Mexico, Arizona, all in Texas. So he's starting to grow. He's starting to grow more, you know, and coming back into it. He does it with his wife now, Nora, and travels with his two teenage daughters. So the guy's like, man, he's like, this is like his second wind, you know.
Oh, he's like 60 years old, right?
He might be a little bit older than that. Yeah.
And he has two teenagers?
He looks about 30 though, you know. he looks about 30.
Man, he already signed the contract. You know, don't stretch that truth there. He may look 50.
But I tell you what, and then another thing that I'm working on right now, besides them two events, is Golfgate Donaraki, okay? September 9th. Go ahead and mark this down. If you got a pen and paper available, September 9th.
At Donaraki.
Donaraki's. We're going to be filming live right there at the Johnny Canales show. And let me tell you, he's setting up some bands to go in there. And this is going to be free to the public. And write it down because it's going to be a big deal right there in Golfgate.
And that's on Saturday.
That is going to be on a Wednesday.
Oh, it's a Wednesday night.
That's going to be a Wednesday night. So it's going to be huge.
So you're going to have a stage?
We're going to have a stage. We're going to close off the parking lot out there. And, whoo, man, I'm telling you, just be ready for this one. Because I'm telling you, Johnny is talking about bringing some serious bands out there, you know. And
this is going to be like a regular thing?
This ain't a regular thing. This is just a special event that we're doing September 9th with Donaraki.
No, but is he going to be doing this often? Is he going to be coming back?
Yeah, he's going to be coming back. Actually, I think he films a couple of his shows here over at Hermes Music.
Okay.
And so yeah, he's going to be making some appearances here, and he's definitely he's getting together with me, you know, and he wants to come to the events and, you know, get more publicity out here, you know, and just work it, you know.
Cool.
Work it. He's coming back, you know. Johnny Canales, man, it's a legend. So
yeah, that's great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great thing.
So we have our own Johnny Canales right here, Mr. Javier Perez.
Yeah, not even. No, but really, Johnny Canales is oh man, he's a legend. He's a legend in the Tejano and the music industry here. So it's great to see him, man. It's great to see him.
You know, he propelled so many people's careers.
Absolutely,
I mean, from Selena to Mas to, I mean, you think of all the great Tejano singers. It was like if you didn't come out on a Johnny Canales show, you didn't make it. You know what I'm saying?
You're not it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
So, you know.
We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some historical things in Harrisburg, actually.
Harrisburg.
Yeah, Harrisburg, where the railroad goes over the hump, if you will.
Right there.
Yeah.
It's going to be the new bridge.
69th. It's going to be a new metro bridge. So we're going to talk a little bit about the historical perspective of Houston. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez, and my co-host here, Mr. Javier Perez, and we are interviewing Mr. Sambo. Thank you for joining us again.
Hey, man, we're back.
Sambo, give him a name.
Take two.
Sambo Cat.
Big Tech Sam.
Big Tech Sam.
Sambo doesn't need an introduction.
Adaptation.
Unlike us.
Yeah.
Now, Sambo, earlier you were showing me some historical things here related to Harrisburg.
Yes.
A lot of folks don't realize it, but Harrisburg, which used to be the capital of Texas,
Yes, sir.
is right down what you would call today Harrisburg and Broadway.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what year Harrisburg no longer was the capital, but I will tell you that there's a lot of history here in the East End.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a big movement that people are getting behind to create some kind of historical district or a museum that can showcase some of this history that Texas
Yes.
has.
Yes.
One of the ideas was creating some kind of mercado over there by where the railroad is on Harrisburg. Goes over 69. They're going to create a bridge.
Right.
As soon as you pass that bridge, they were talking about creating the historical kind of mercado type district there. Julio del Carpio was kind of leading that charge. Now, I will tell you that there's a big push also on navigation. As you know, they're fixing navigation.
Yes.
And so they fixed up the esplanades, and they're having all kinds of things there on the weekends. Actually, it's kind of hot right now, but I know they have it in the spring and in the fall, where they have vendors come out and sell product and so forth. Even restaurants coming out. Talento Bilingüe was involved in that, weren't you?
Yeah, we sure were.
TBH.
Sure were.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, with some of the entertainment, we sure were.
Okay. So I know there's a lot of ideas out there, but I would really like to see a museum somewhere. I don't care where it is.
Yeah.
Where the city would fund, or even the state, because there's a lot of historical funds out there, where they would put money into a historical area.
Yeah, definitely. You know, a lot of people, especially right there on Broadway, where J.R. Harris is. I mean, that's where the first 2 miles of railroad tracks were laid in Texas. So, like, if it wasn't for them first 2 miles, you know, hey, nothing else would have got built.
That was the starting point.
That's where it starts, you know.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, for those that don't know where J.R. Harris is, that's over there on Broadway by Manchester.
yeah, right on the
If
corner.
you're familiar with Manchester Road. Now, Manchester Road and Broadway, that's kind of like the Mecca, if you will, of Texas.
Yes.
That's where it all started.
And right in the back of J.R. Harris Elementary is the cemetery, Glendale Cemetery. Glendale Cemetery is where Milby's buried at, you know, Charles
Charles
Milby.
H. Milby.
Yes, sir. And then also you have the Allen brothers are buried there. And I think De Zavala is also buried there. So you got...
Wow, I didn't know De Zavala was there.
You have some founding fathers of Houston that are right there hidden in the back, and people drive by every day and don't even realize that. You also, right around the corner there on Lawndale, you have one of the old Harrisburg Cemetery, which is a black slave cemetery. So you have so much history there. And if you go back and you research about the old Harrisburg, you'll find out that the town was actually burnt down by Santa Anna before he went to the Battle of the San Jacinto. So with all that history, why would Houston not do anything to preserve that area of town? You know, my heart is there. I'd love to see it come back. That underpass right there where you go by J.R. Harris, I want to get a mural painted there.
Yeah.
I want to clean it up and get a mural painted.
Well, not to mention, we have the Port of Houston, which in itself has a lot of history there. You're
Yes.
talking about all that area right next to the waters.
Yep.
That would be a perfect location
Beautiful.
for a museum.
It's beautiful right there, you know, and you still have the old buildings there, you know. Of course, there's a couple of things that need to take place. You know, they have an art gallery there now. They have a couple of event halls there, and that's where I do the Tejano Holiday Bash and Street Festival. This year, I want to put vendors all up and down that little stretch, do rope lighting, have the Bud Light stage out there, you know, and we're going to have the cookers out there cooking. So it's going to be a great festival in December, and this will be our 3rd year doing that out there.
Shanghai Reds is another good location for one of your events.
Yeah, that's Brady's Landing. Shanghai is you went back to Tejano.
I went too far back.
Whoa.
Let me fast forward a little bit. I was thinking back when the Island Club was around.
Back when Ben was a club owner.
Boy, When tequilas was around, Island Club. He took it way back. Kakukuka.
I sure did. So tell us a
Yeah.
little bit more history over there.
Well, you know, like I said, they got the gallery there. The first Compion funeral home was there also, you know.
That's right.
So there's a lot of historic significance right there. You got, like I said, the first 2 miles of rebel track in Texas. You have the cemetery, Glendale Cemetery there. Also, the state capitol was located there, and John R. Harris's house was there, which was used as a state capitol by the President Barnett. Now Barnett fled when he heard that Santa Anna was coming, you know. So Santa Anna burnt the whole thing down and, you know, went to San Jacinto, and that's when Sam Houston finally got to the city of Harrisburg, but it had already been burnt to ashes, you know. So from it being burnt to ashes, they rebuilt, you know, but it was never the same, you know. And then later on, it got annexed into Houston. But like I said before, with that much history, I mean, you got places like the Heights, you got places like, you know, over by Navigation, you got places all over the city. But I'm gonna tell you, ain't nothing got historic significance like right here. Because without this right here, this is the mother of Houston right here. There would have never been a Houston without that port right there. Also, another thing is that we're talking about getting some coffee shops out here. I don't know if a lot of people know, but Houston is the world's largest importer of coffee.
Colombian coffee at that.
Yes, sir. We got Maxwell House. You got the brothers over here, Farmers Brothers. So you got two breweries over here, you know. And so, hey, man, this could be like the Starbucks, you know, and they're talking about, Julio's talking about putting some on Harrisburg, you know, maybe down there on Broadway, you know. But, I mean, we got to really take advantage of the resources we have here, you know. Coffee shops are famous everywhere, you know. You put coffee with some good Mexican pastries and some nice restaurants and stuff, and you got a good thing going, you know. A couple of little places where they got some live music.
And here we go talking about food again. I'm getting hungry again.
Hey, that's my specialty right there, you know.
And Lee gets back there, he's already salivating. Look at him.
If I ain't singing, I'm cooking. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do them together.
So, you know, Harrisburg actually had their own ISD, Harrisburg ISD.
Yes.
So Harrisburg merged with HISD. Houston ISD kind of took over. So there's a lot of history related to the schools as well.
Yes.
Not to mention Harrisburg, that's where the name Harris County came from.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
And it came from the Harris brothers.
J.R. Harris is.
Yes.
And so it's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if the majority of people that live in the East End even know there's a history there. I bet you they don't. I bet you they're clueless as far as their history.
Yeah.
So when the Allen brothers started Houston at Allen's Landing, the Harris brothers were there to welcome them.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, the Allen brothers came down from Boston, I think it was.
Yeah.
They came down from Boston, and they wanted a place to really set ground, you know. But they already had this, you know, right here. So the Allen brothers just went a little bit further up. At that time, the whole Magnolia and Central Park area was known as Las Arenas, the Sands. So Las Arenas was a state park back then. It had gazebos, it had landscaping with grasses, and they loved it because you had the biles that went through it. It was 3 different biles that went through it. You know, it was beautiful. They would have weddings and parties out here. And then when they started developing it, it was Magnolia Land Development Company. They first started doing the little lots, and you could buy a lot and put your house out here for $5. $5 they were selling them. So, you know. And then from there came Pecan Park, and then Pine View, and then Central Park, and it just started growing after that, you know. But they were the first ones back, and I think that was 1915, 1905, you know, when they started building.
And Mexican Park.
That was it.
Yeah.
Hidalgo Park, man, you already know. I think that gazebo was there like forever.
Yeah.
It was wooden, and they just put concrete around it and stayed forever.
Well, Hidalgo Park has a lot of history because it
Yes.
was the only place that the Mexicans could go hang out.
Yeah,
That was the only park that the Mexicans were allowed to play.
yeah.
So we talked about, just the other day, we talked about softball leagues that Felix Fraga was involved in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they were segregated, obviously. So it's kind of interesting where all these people kind of came together. And back in the day, there wasn't a lot of prominent Hispanics. So the few that were there, they had to make things happen.
Hey, they made it happen because I tell you what, Atuve in Korea, Oh man, them boys are bad with the Houston Astros.
Oh man.
So you know, Latinos have come a long way in a lot of different things, and sports is one of them. You know, like you said, couldn't play baseball nowhere in the city, but you know, Mexican Park. I know a lot of baseballs got hit in the bio because
Yeah, I tell you, my son was telling me, hey, Dad, because the Astros got an all Latino infield. You know, well, catcher's not really infield, but all Latino infield.
yeah.
You know,
I've never really
great.
paid attention.
Yeah,
yes.
Interesting.
sure do.
And
All
and,
Latino.
and that's one of the things that I brought to the attention of the Houston Astros was that you know, the Houston Texans have the Toros Club, right? Because if you look at the demographics of the season ticket holders and the people that actually go to the Texans games, it's like 80% Latino. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. Well, the same thing with the Houston Astros, but the Houston Astros never implemented a Hispanic program.
Yeah.
You know, so I told him, hey man, you know, we're doing the cook-off over here. It's Big Tex Sam. You know, we're gonna have a piñata. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a Yankee.
No, it's a Donald Trump piñata.
Donald Trump, piñata? Speaking of Donald Trump, boy, he's gotten in some hot water, hasn't he?
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
yeah. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you what he did do. And it took some big cojones to do it. He went down to the border in Laredo. You know, so I don't know if all them threats from Chapo and all that affected him, because he'll tell you what, when you go to another man's front door like that, he went straight to the border. I don't care about the cartel or whatever was over there. Donald Trump went over there, and that takes some big cojones right there. You know, 'cause
Yeah, but he went in an armored car. How am I gonna get that?
an armored car.
Well, Sam, thank you for coming on the show again.
Yes, sir.
You're always welcome. We always have some good conversation when you're here.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the time today.
Sam, let's give us some dates again. What you got coming up? Let's make sure
Okay,
people out there know.
August 29th, we got barbecue at the ballpark, barbecue competition. So that's going to start at 11.
August 29th.
a.m.
That's a Saturday, right?
That's a Saturday.
Okay.
You can get your tickets through Ticketmaster, or you can just go right to the box office, and we'll get you up in there. That's August 29th. September 9th at Donna Rocky's at Gulfgate. Huge event right there. Huge event. So make sure you mark that down. September 9th at Donna Rocky's at Gulfgate. And then we have the October cook-off, which is going to be at Alameda Mall. That's going to be October 15th through the 17th. The Big Tex Barbecue Fest State Championship Cook-Off. And then December 12th, we got the Tejano Holiday Bash, and that's going to be in the historic Harrisburg. So we got a full schedule ahead of us. It's going to be a busy year. You know, we're going to knock it out. We're going to go out with a bang. But at the end of the year, you know, we're right back to the roots, and that's the historic Harrisburg. You know, you go full circle and you come right back.
So Sam, so is this on your website?
Yes, sir. BigTexEvents.com. So
BigTexEvents.com.
yes, sir.
All right, Samuel, we'll appreciate it.
Gracias.
When we come back, we are going to interview Ruben Mercado. He is the former executive director of the National Association of Minority Contractors. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Latino Talk TV. I'm your host, Ben Mendez, joined by my co-host, Mr. Javier Perez. And now we are going to interview Mr. Ruben Mercado. Ruben is the former executive director of the National Association of Minority Contractors. Ruben, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me here tonight.
So Ruben is not new to the show. He's come on a couple times. Now, Ruben, tell us, for the viewers that don't know NAMAC, what
Sure.
NAMAC stands for.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. That's a very good question. NAMAC is a nonprofit organization that's been established almost 50 years now, Ben. Back in 1969, a couple of minority contractors out of California got fed up with not ever getting a piece of the pie for tax-funded projects, so they established this organization. In 2006, the Houston chapter was established with the same goals to be able to help minority and small businesses, contractors, get business with tax-funded projects with the entities such as the City of Houston, Metro, the Port of Houston, HISD, things of that nature. We are about 30 chapters strong throughout the nation. We have over 150 members here in the Houston area. And I'll tell you, Ben, our chapter has been able to help our members with over $500 million worth of contracts in the past 3 years for them to be able to acquire it. So although that might seem like a lot of money, it's still just a scratch of the surface with how much business is out there.
That's still a lot of money, $500 million. I
Wow.
wouldn't mind taking a small percentage of that. $500 million go a long way. Wouldn't you say, Javi?
Oh man, I tell you, a long way.
Just imagine all those hamburgers you could buy.
It lasts me in Sample about a week.
A lot
Well,
of hamburgers.
if you think about it, all that business that they've gotten in those years, think of the jobs that they've been able to offer out to the
Sure,
public and
that's-
bring people from off of the unemployment line and into the workforce. That's another thing that right now the construction industry is hurting so much is we don't have enough skilled workforce. The general contractors are really having a hard time finding good help. And many times you'll see a skilled worker jump from one contractor to another for just 25 cents more an hour. It's
I
incredible.
see it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump needs to talk to NAMAC.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think they might fit in the category one of the assumed. I assume they're good people.
Yeah, well, you know what? I got to tell you, I'm very happy that Trump did those remarks in the sense that I'm hoping that motivates our community to go out and vote. Because, you know, we have such a strong weapon in our hands, but we don't do anything with it if we don't use it. Mm-hmm. We have to go out and vote. No matter who you vote for, go vote. You can't complain about the system if you don't vote.
Absolutely.
Go vote.
So let's get back to NAMAC. Now, I will tell you, I know a little bit about NAMAC.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was part of NAMAC for many years,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen it grow. And it's good to see things grow. You start from scratch, and it just kind of blossoms and blossoms. And for one, I really like the fact that the demographics have changed a little bit. Because let's be honest here, NAMAC was an all African American group.
That's correct.
When it was first started.
That's correct. Absolutely.
And if you look at nationwide, I don't know, I haven't been involved with the national folks in a long time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But nationally, I would say the border was like 99% black.
That's correct. You
Right.
know, that's a good point that you bring, Ben. In June, we went to our national conference, and that was one of my points that I had to put across, that this is not an African American organization. This is a minority organization, and we need more representation from our Latino brothers, from our Asian community, from our Native American community, and they heard me, and they actually have invited me to participate in their national board, to be on one of their committees. Amongst other Latinos and other Asian Americans that they have brought up to the board. So they are trying to be representative of who they actually say they represent. I certainly have done that quite a bit here in Houston over the past 3 years, where we did get more of our Latino brothers into the organization and let them know what the resources that are out there to help them grow their business.
Well, you know, Ruben, so what's the breakdown right now of NAMAC here in Houston?
Fantastic. That's a great question. It's still not the demographics that we have in the Houston area. It's still more African American.
But it's come a long way, though, right?
Yes, absolutely. But, you know, it used to be, like Ben said, 80, 20, 90, 10, something like that. Now it's more about 60-40, where it's 60% African American, 40%.
And that's been a
Latinos.
big change just recently, probably in the last, what, 10, 15 years?
Well, I would say I don't know about the past 10, 15 years, but I know that it has changed dramatically since I got involved, working with Ben, working with other Latino community leaders.
That's
that
because
helped.
all his family was contractors.
Yeah, well, we brought them all. We brought them all in the Volkswagen and got them all out there, so we were able to really get the workforce pumped up. So
No, I've met a lot of the contractors since you got involved with it. You got some great business owners out there.
Thank you very much.
They're very competent people.
You know what? Let me tell you, man. What really discourages me is that we have so many more Hispanic business owners out there that do not want to come out and ask for or utilize these resources. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's our machismo from the Hispanic community. It's like, I don't need anybody's help. The help is there.
Yeah.
It's free. Sometimes it costs a little bit of money, but it's there to help you grow your business. And I encourage everyone to leverage all the resources that are out there. There's tremendous out there.
Yeah.
I'm using them now as a business owner. It has helped me tremendously. It has helped me be able to hire more people and grow our business. So I certainly encourage everybody to use those resources.
So let's put this in perspective. Now, the city of Houston, when they give out contracts, I'm not saying give, I should say, when they award contracts,
right.
there's always a percentage that has to go to a minority-owned firm. MWBE is what they call them.
Right.
Okay, so whether it be 25%, 30%, 33%, it depends on the contract. Now, the big gripe from the general contractors, which are the big boys, is that they don't have enough certified quality contractors. Now, I will tell you differently. There's always people out there that they can step to the job, but they need to be given the opportunity. So having a group like NAMAC can help those guys be pushed forward, and girls as well, being pushed forward so that they will be recognized as quality contractors. So NAMAC does a great job in doing that. And not just for the city of Houston, we're talking about Metro, Harris County, TxDOT, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the list goes on and on. Not to mention all the public entities that are related to colleges and universities.
Absolutely,
here,
absolutely.
and school districts here. So there's plenty of work to go around.
Absolutely. You know, I personally have been involved with Prairie View A&M, with HCC. We're working right now with the University of Houston. There's a lot of opportunities out there. So much money being used in construction. Currently here in the Houston area, now, you know, it used to be about $1 billion worth of construction projects going on. Right now it's $2 billion worth of projects in the tax-funded sector. So if you think about it, let's go on the low end. If it's 20% that has to go to minority-owned business, that's $400 million worth of work that's out there available per year. If you go to the private section, you're looking 2 to 3 times as much. Although they do not have goals for participations, they're still looking for quality contractors.
Let me clarify. 90% don't have goals. There's a few out there that are good people that realize the importance of inclusion, and they do have minority goals.
I would say HEB is one of them. Absolutely, they're a good partner in the community. Walmart is another. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so there are some good people out there that understand that diversity is really, it's something that we need to look forward to. Versus fighting against diversity, let's promote diversity and bring in some contractors that look like me and you.
Absolutely. I mean, they have to look at what their client base are, and I'll tell you what, they have more clients that look like you and me than they do the Anglo-Americans, man. Let's face it. Our community here in the Houston area, well, I believe we're already in the majority as far as the Latino community is concerned, and we keep growing each year. But unfortunately, the workforce does not represent that.
You also got some great ladies out there that are doing it. I know Victoria Lara is a member of your organization.
And Leticia Elias and a couple others.
And they've been doing a fantastic job since they got involved with the organization. I know, Victoria, you mentioned that they...
What is her company?
It's Impact Stone.
Impact Stone, that's
And, you know, after becoming a member of NAMAC, they received their first $1 million contract. And they've been established for 23 years. And within 6 months, they were able to get a contract of that size.
You know, I am so proud of Victoria Lara. I mean, 'cause for one, she's a young lady. You know, she's married, but you know, she's still young by all means. But man, she go out there and she's
hustles.
She's a go-getter.
Playing hardball with the big boys.
She is a go-getter.
And she holds her own.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I got a lot of respect for that young lady.
And I got to let you know, Victoria's also on our board for NAMAC. As I'm a board member of the organization now, but she is one of our board members as well.
That's great.
Yes.
That's good. So for those that want to contact you, where do they go?
They can reach us, they can go to our website at www.namctexas.org, or they can reach us at our office at 832-991-8165. When you call that number, ask for Brenda. She'll be happy to give you information about our organization.
Well, I appreciate you coming out as always.
Thank you for having us out
always
here.
Good conversation.
I tell you, we need to bring some of your members out. You need to get Victoria.
I will
out
do
here.
that. I'll definitely do that. I had her here
Ruben,
last time, one of the last times we were here, and we'll bring a couple of other members here next time.
And my hat's off to you, Ruben. You've done a fantastic job. I know you've moved on and doing your own business now, but you laid the great groundwork over at NAMAC.
Well, thank you very much. I still
appreciate it.
advocate very much for our community, and I will continue to do so.
With that said, that ends our show. We'll see you next week. We're live TV Mondays at 6 p.m. So we'll see you next week.